Good morning!
Hello, welcome to Tampa Talk with Mary. Welcome to the show that only airs once a month. I don't have a quick story because this is a new segment. So I wanted to try to do more bonus content on the show because boy, do I love talking about periods, and we've got a lot of time to talk about them. So this is kind of like in the series of other things I plan to do. I want to do, like I've said before, like I want to do news updates, I want to do commentary, but this is going to be a new segment. So I'm super, super excited. It's just me. Just me and my thoughts. So I'm just going to jump right into it. So you all have probably heard already. It's become, you know, a big sensation and a meme, but Ben Shapiro talking about WAP. I'm excited. So, as some of you may or may not already know, WAP is by pop and rap sensations Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion. And it's taken over the mainstream. As time of recording, WAP reached number one on Billboard's Hot 100 shortly, like 100 list shortly after it dropped. Also, not too shortly after it was released, Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion's hit about female arousal would go on to shake and shudder millions of men with their own inadequacies. On, you know, as you guys know, on Tampa Talk with Mary, we pride ourselves in celebrating not only menstruation, but female sexuality and the destigmatization around women's health, sex, and gender for everyone who menstruates. So, naturally, no one asked me, but I loved WAP. But what makes me love it more is the fact that Ben Shapiro had such a big issue with women of color expressing what commanding your own sexual desire looks like from the mouth of a woman. God. Now you guys already know Tampa Talk does remain an open platform that is willing to allow those with conflicting opinions to come on our program and speak their truth. But God, regardless of where you stand politically, like I had to talk about Ben Shapiro talking about this. I'm not gonna get into Ben's political beliefs because you should already know them, but I'd love for you guys to hear him try to use facts and logic to explain why he feels his voice is lacking on the topic of wet-ass pussy. Okay, let's take a listen from his show.
The backlash to Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion's WAP proves society still hates sexually powerful women.
And if you couldn't already tell, so does Ben Shapiro. Let's keep going.
In Black Entertainment TV, BET, they put out a headline, Cardi B perfectly claps back at misogynistic criticism of WAP. Because all criticism of WAP is misogynistic, like deeply misogynistic and sexist, as it turns out.
I mean, most of them have been, yeah.
And this video, this music video, had 56 million views within 48 hours of release.
This might be a little petty. Well, I guess this whole situation is pretty petty, but it's worth noting that Ben Shapiro's video on WAP only has 420,827 views in comparison. So
we're going to play a little bit of the video, and then I'm going to read you some of the lyrics to WAP.
I'm actually surprised that he said he was going to play a section of the video. It seemed like as if he saw a woman twerking, their hoo-hang, his eyes would melt and his face would just completely disintegrate, like in Indiana Jones and Raiders of the Lost Ark. So then Ben goes to mansplain surface-level aspects of female liberation, as well as Cardi B's music video, as if we were unable to gather what the song WAP or Wet Ass Pussy was about.
Here are some of the lyrics. This is empowering stuff, guys. This is like Susan B. Anthony. This is like women fighting for the right to vote. This right here is women fighting for the right to work. Right here, what we are watching is women fighting for the equal right to talk about their wet ass P word. That's what WAP stands for. So here are the actual lyrics. Okay, and this is not demeaning to women in any way. It's not demeaning to women in any way. It doesn't turn women into sex objects.
Okay, so I'm not particularly sure what Ben thinks is empowering for women. He did mention the right to vote, which, you know, I'd say as a woman, I'm really grateful to do. But it does appear that he is really on the quest to have only one definition of female liberation, and it stops and ends at his own definition. I mean, I think he could not fully grasp what wet ass pussy is, not only because of his apparent lack of inexperience with seeing this Sasquatch of a thing, if you will, but also due to the fact that his mother was able to conceive him from the driest place in the Guinness Book of World Records. He then goes on to like read the lyrics, which I'm just gonna play the remix of his lyrics on top because I think that this meme is awesome and that it's pissing him off.
Ready?
iMarkkeyz.
Whores in this house. There's some whores in this house. There's some whores in this house. There's some whores in this house. I said certified freak. 7 days a week. Wet ass P word. Make that pull out game weak. Yeah. Yeah, you effing with some wet ass P word. Bring a bucket and a mop for this wet ass P word. Give me everything you've got for this wet ass P word. Beat it up and catch a charge. Extra large and extra hard. Put this P word right in your face. Wipe your nose like a credit card. Hop on top if I want to ride. I do a kegel while it's inside. Spit in my mouth, look in my eyes. This P word is wet. Come take a dive. As a sympathetic and empathetic human being, my first concern is that these women are describing a serious gynecological condition.
Okay, now I gotta stop the video here. I mean, the biggest lie or piece of information in this video is not the fact that Ben Shapiro is misunderstanding female arousal, but rather his own claim that he's an empathetic and sympathetic human being.
So, fortunately, I know a doctor, who is my wife, and so I asked her for her medical diagnosis. And she looked at the lyrics herself, and after being kind of appalled by them, obviously, she had a few sort of indicators here on how she could diagnose the vaginal condition that apparently these women are suffering from.
Okay, so then he gets to like this part of the video and he says like, you know, that his wife is like an authority on this subject, and then he got like a medical diagnosis and stuff. You know, so he asked his wife to comment on the medical condition of female titillation, and he basically uses her as the single resource to validate why his sex is in no shape, way, or form about actually enjoying it. Using a individual source to validate your own specific and personal opinion is kind of like when your Aunt Karen Googled black person against Black Lives Matter and then posted the video that she found on her Facebook page. So he paints her as like an authority on the subject, which is like a little misleading because it's not her speciality. She specializes in family medicine, like that's like where she practiced. So I'm sure the subject of wet pussies comes up, but only in relation to pregnancy and the mucus plug. Oh, okay, I get it. So that's when wet pussy is allowed is during pregnancy and not to indicate your arousal. I got it. Okay, thank you, Ben. You made that clear. But sort of on the subject, fun fact, when you're about to have a child and your mucus plug falls out, kind of leading to your water to break and all your, liquids to discrete, you can actually lose roughly about 3 cups worth of vaginal liquid and discharge. Almost enough to warrant a bucket and a mop for that wet-ass pussy. You know what I'm saying?
Apparently, there are signs of prolapse. And I say that because hop on top, I want to ride, I do a kegel while it's inside. So there's some signs of some actual clinical prolapse, which is a problem.
Another fun fact is the characteristic that Ben keeps referring to as vaginal prolapse is actually the sensation that happens in the vaginal canal when a woman is close to orgasm, which is through sex, and the vagina becomes more loose and lubricated, and then it builds to the sensation of tightening and restricting before you get to orgasm. But as many of you know, Ben Shapiro will not be restricted by a vagina or the federal government, so he still maintains his personal liberties and his wife from climaxing.
That stuff is out of bounds, right? I mean, if we mention any of that stuff, it's because we're misogynists. I'm a sexist for saying that women are more than just, their wet-ass P words. But as a sympathetic human being, I just want to make sure these ladies get the care they need. My wife's medical advice is that they go to a gynecologist ASAP, and that they do whatever checks are necessary for bacterial vaginosis, yeast infection, or trichomonas.
And I gotta give it to him, at least in his little sarcastic bit at the end, at least he admits he's a sexist, And this, so I was talking to my fiance Preston about wanting to do this video because, I liked WAP, and we both enjoy making fun of Ben Shapiro, kind of like on the regular. But he was like, you need to Google his opinion on rap. And I was like, oh my God, which, you know, I should have done before watching this video. So it lands a little differently, but like I went and I watched it on the Daily Wire page. Oh God. Okay. So he's obviously not an authority on this subject, right? Like by any means. And you know what's really funny? He says that. He says, I am absolutely no authority on this subject. I don't know anything about it. And certainly it is subjective. But I do have a couple of theories why rap is bad. Like, So Ben Shapiro, like his specific comment of why he thinks that rap doesn't work is that lyrically, it's people that aren't taking a lot of effort into thinking about what they say and just saying it really fast. And I don't know, like, who does that remind me of? Does it remind me of Ben Shapiro, whose literal brand is saying things really fucking fast for no reason and not even thinking about them before he says them? That's his whole brand. That's his whole brand, Ben Shapiro. That's what you do all the time. Just trying, if logically and metaphorically we destroy people with facts and logic, then subjectively you could see that my opinion is always right, especially when you look at it without looking at any other resources. And you only listen to me, and you're a vulnerable college student, and you don't know anything else. You've only believed your parents' ideology and political beliefs. And when you go to college, you find one political source that maybe completely contradicts everything that you've believed. And you know, I happen to be that resource. So I, as well as many of my other people from Turning Point USA, will talk really, really fast, and that sort of proves that I, an onomatopoeia, have been able to make a logical and completely rational argument, even if I say something so fucking dumb, you can't even catch it because I'm saying it so fast. And if I say it so fast and you agree and I go, say yes, and you say yes, then you agree. This is Ben Shapiro's whole brand, bro. I can't, guys, like, but, Ben Shapiro, among many of the other people we will get into in this new talking segment, does make himself a big contender for a great candidate and nominee for our new segment, the Period Wall of Shame. Okay, so this segment is when we talk about anybody that's in the public eye, well, yeah, but in the public eye or in the media that basically has anything awful to say or completely fucking stupid about periods or female anatomy or just female sexuality, anything that really just kind of contradicts what we're trying to do on this show, is that they become an inaugural member of the Period Wall of Shame. So I am so excited to announce that Ben Shapiro is the first person to be put up on the wall of the Period Wall of Shame. Give it up. Yeah, listen, it takes a lot to get there, you know. I mean, for one, you really got to not be educated in any remote capacity on this particular subject. You also have to tell other people that you are either an authority on the subject or you're not an authority, and then yet still give your opinion about it, even and especially bonus points if no one asked. That's very important to make it to the Period Wall of Shame. Anybody that said something completely stupid, completely wrong, laughable about this particular subject matter. So we still maintain the idea that we are an open platform. So this means that we are not limited to, you know, strictly conservative people or, you know, strictly Republicans or whatever. Where they may be a lot of the greatest offenders, there are others that either adhere to different political ideologies, are not American, or are women. So, you know, like, there are a lot of different people, and I really am proud. The Period Wall of Shame is completely diverse, you know, and that's what that's what we should be more about, is diversity when you think about it. So if you have a contender for me of who you think should be nominated for the Period Wall of Shame, please DM me on Instagram, tampontaga.wmary on there. Send me your submissions. Again, just the parameters have got to be, they have said something absolutely fucking stupid about reproductive health or just periods, or, you know, just really missing the mark when it comes to female sexuality, sex or gender, any of that kind of thing that we talk about here on the show. If they really just miss the mark, they know absolutely nothing about the subject, very important, and they still give their opinion about it, and again, very important, even if they don't, you didn't ask for it. So yeah, send me your submissions there. On Instagram, Tampon Talk WMary. If it's easier to send your submissions on Twitter, you could do it as well. I'm on there, Tampon Talk WMary as well. But you could just use my Twitter. It's kind of, more frequent, Periods Talk. I love finding people on there, so dig them up. Also, if you want to do it, it's not relatively old school, because, the Postal Service is still here for, the next few months. If you want to send me via email, tampontalkwithmary@gmail.com, your submissions for who should be on the period wall of shame, please do so. But I have been brewing up the case for Ben Shapiro. This is one of the many offenses, so we might revisit him again, I don't know. But he is officially the first person to be put on the period wall of shame. So, very, very exciting. New things in the works. But yeah, that's Ben Shapiro on WAP. I just, in this moment, I want to take a moment of silence for his both his mother and his wife and his daughter, who will eventually get older and look back on her father. So let's go ahead and we'll take a moment of silence. That should be good. Okay, great. Well, all right. Well, thanks so much for listening to Tampon Talk with Mary. These segments are always super, super fun. Again, I'd love to hear what you think. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.